We've got a great encouragement on prayer, and in Texas, the story on how church planters are working to reach the lost. I'm Jeff Eisner. Welcome to God Works Weekly. First, let's start with the rise of the nuns. You've heard the phrase, which is the increasing number of people in the United States who identify as religiously unaffiliated. This includes atheists, agnostics, and those who claim no religion at all. Well, Ed Stetzer, Christian pastor, author, and historian, says that rise may be exaggerated.
But I'm sort of the guy that was always yelling, stop saying Christianity's collapsing, particularly these evangelical articles that evangelicals are collapsing. It's not, just not statistically anywhere near that. I'm actually saying that I've been doing research for 20 years. I've never seen anything like the changes we're seeing right now in religion and culture today. Now, again, let's go to the Quiet Revival in the UK for just a second. Made a lot of news. They actually used the word revival. Now, here's what I want you to hear though. So like church attendance in Center City, London is up 50%, let's say. That sounds great, right? Just so you're aware, that means it went from 4% to 6%. So that is a significant shift. And that data is good data. It was done by YouGov. It's not just some rando doing research. It's good data. But I want you to see and to hear that we need multiple sources. But now, Pew has already said there's a plateau of the nuns. We actually have two data points that say there's actually a turnaround. Still one saying it's still going up. So a year from now, I'll be able to tell you, but something is going on, and the rise of the nuns, which everyone thought was inevitable, has paused. Is it going to stop and reverse? It would be surprising if it did, because you have this thing called generational cohort replacement, and younger adults are already more secular than older adults, but let's see. Something's going on.
Well, the Harvest Partnership is a network of pastors and churches supporting church planters. It was started in Texas. It is now reaching out to other areas across the country. Here's Rob Bailey sharing more on the Harvest Partnership and how it works.
Allowing people to be in prayer, experiment with others based on those prayers and what's happening, and see where the Spirit leads. And we're here to support each other, not condemn each other, not to heckle each other, but to see what cool things that can happen for the kingdom. Start stuff, which I would say definitely needs to be leadership led, because without the leaders being led, there's a problem, is making that transition is not the planter's job to reach the city, but the people who God places with that planter. How do they reach the people in their context and their relationships?
Well, we'll have more on the Harvest Partnership and the great stories that are coming out of there in upcoming episodes. You just heard Rob talk about prayer, right? Here's another great encouragement for prayer with Chris Pavla.
And the thing about the book of Acts, when you read the remarkable miracles that happen, the healings, the life change, the salvations, or then after Acts 13 with Paul and all four of his missionary journeys, when you read that, none of those stories can be told apart and without the devoted prayer that preceded it. You cannot tell a story about what God does in the book of Acts without talking about how they were devoted to prayer. So why would it be any different in your ministry?
Check out Concordia Market. Chris has much more on this topic, including his 25 Prayers to Christmas book. Find that at concordiamarket.com/25-prayers-to-Christmas. Time for What You're Reading, and Emily Phoenix is back with more.
It's called Restless Devices, and it's about our addiction to our phones and how we can counteract that addiction and use our technology for good.
Have you read The Anxious Generation?
I have, yes. Actually, the Restless Devices a little bit reminds me of the Anxious Generation. It's a little bit less stressful, but that's an important read as well, as we think about how we're interacting with our kids, how different their environment is. I mean, I'm 40 years old, so I'm not that much older, but it's a much different world that they're growing up in than the one that I grew up in.
Well, thanks, Emily. Well, I don't know about you, but we got hit with a bunch of snow here in the Midwest. School was canceled. My son comes down the steps at 10 a.m. and tells me, This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Now, I may be wrong, but I feel like he's rejoicing more because school was canceled. I don't know. For those of us who work at home, maybe it's easier said than done. Don't forget, give us a like and a share, and we'll have links to everything that we've covered in the show notes. And send us those story ideas about the cool things that are happening in your community or at your church, because we want to highlight them. Thanks for watching God Works Weekly.